Hi Earthlings. Okay, so I might be at the wrong time of day because, or right, I don't know, but I'm not sure. I might be blind. Sun might get me or it might not. I've been studying. Well, I've been listening to a few things on. There's a lot of things going on right now, right? We've got people talking about, have we already had the millennium ruling where our Saviour Jesus ben Pantera already ruled, and then I've got a lot to say. I also went back in time with the Pluto and Aquarius, and you're not going to believe it, but it comes back to when Siddhartha Gautama, who became Buddha, and an amazing time period. So I'm going to talk about that today as well. So trying not to. So two things. Firstly, I feel like I did live myself in the millennial kingdom, if there were, or I did know I'm able to do things, and one of them is go back in time. So when I do a past life thing, it goes like this. It goes, oh, it doesn't make that sound, but it goes click, 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 and it's like all these still photos. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and then I step in, and when it's like black and white photos, going really quickly, and then poof, I step in. I absolutely don't know. I can't. It's not like I can go, yes, there. It's not like that. And then I step in, and when I step in, I'm there. And one of the most, well, I'll tell you too, one of the most profound ones was I was on a balcony. I was looking down, horse and carts, as in carriages, were coming along the street, and all those beautiful buildings, which is what we call that Greek architecture, was just all everywhere. But I felt like it was in London when I was there, and I was just on the balcony. I was just sort of just taking in the moment, and that was that one. The other one that I had was interesting as well. So the same thing, you know how I explained to you, and then so what happened was I could see these corners, like these different lines, and I was thinking, what is it? Where am I? What's going on? And what had actually happened was, in the body back in that time, the body had fainted, and I had entered into the body on the floor, and I was inside this kitchen. It was an amazing old kitchen with lots of that you cooked with fire and stuff, which I do like doing. And then outside was this fantastic garden. It was just really beautiful place again. So I was like, gee, I think I might have been rich in all my past lives. But perhaps I was living through a time period of what people call the millennium or the millennial kingdom. So, of course, I love the architecture. Now, remembering the 5Ds, spiritual realm, we're in no hurry to get there. We're going to be there forever. We've got a mission, and it's here on Earth. Now, why do we reincarnate to Earth? Reincarnation. Because we're here to restore paradise. So each spirit has a go. This is what I've got. So our soul incarnates over and over, and we're striving to achieve. So Earth, to me, Earth is not a school. It is the vital matter. It is the realm of all that matters. It is the material existence, and it's being destroyed. And everyone's fallen into an illusion, and they're like, this world is an illusion, or you're just living in a dream, or just, oh my gosh, the amount of lies that are going on right now, so that everyone just runs around and kills everything. People chopping down forests, and we've got people doing all sorts of stuff because they believe in money, and everyone's lost the plot. Okay, so we're trying to stop it. We're trying to waken up to the truth. The truth is that there's an insanity that's overpowering our mind and our reality, okay? So, whenever you're confronted, like I used to be like, why are you killing those trees? You know, we can't do this. It's having a discussion with capitalists is never an easy thing, but I was younger then, and you know, people with guns can shout at you, and that's kind of scary, and you shut up and pay attention and don't go back. But you know, they don't care. They're thinking of themselves. They're like, oh, it's just about my life. I'm just doing it for me. I wouldn't need the money for me. And I'm like, what about your great-great-grandchildren? You know, this land's just going to be rock and nothing's going to grow here. He goes, I don't give a fuck about my great-great-grandchildren. I live today. And that sort of stuff that I have to sadly listen to. Now, anyway, I want everyone to think about that, and now I'm moving on, and I'm talking about Gautama. So, Siddhartha Gautama was born in 563 BC. He desired to know the truth of his reality, and he left his sheltered life after many experiences near dying. He tried to be an aesthetic and all these different things. He wanted to find out what is the truth. Now it says he sat under the Bodhi tree for 7 weeks to meditate on his enlightenment. That's 49 days. And everyone's like, yeah, but how did he do it? Because, you know, he needed to go to the toilet, didn't he eat anything, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. Lots and lots of questions. And so he had to sleep, and he probably needed a drink of water, stuff like that. Doesn't mean you're not meditating. You can still do things, and it's not like he sat still and didn't move. You know what I'm saying? He still was able to do things. He just stayed under that tree. It's a beautiful fig tree. But anyway, said he was tempted. And his temptation was well, his temptation, let me see, what have I got? Oh, I don't have it, or I do. His temptation was to go back to his realm, the place where he came from, because it was in danger of being overtaken. There was a lot of war going on back then, because that is what Pluto and Aquarius does. It creates these wars. Anyway, I'm going to try not to jump all over the place, but the judgment of the nations. In Isaiah 34 in the Bible, it says, come near, you nations, and listen. Pay attention, you peoples. Let the earth hear, and all that is in it, the world and all that comes out of it. And then I've missed out 2 verses on purpose. Verse 2 and 3 is really yucky. And then verse 4, it says, all the stars in the sky will be dissolved, and the heavens rolled up like a scroll, and all the starry host will fall like withered leaves from the vine, like shriveled figs from the fig tree. Now, I was like, oh, the fig tree. Now, that goes back to Buddha, and the starry host will fall like withered leaves from the vine. Reminds me of this time when Pluto was in Aquarius in America, and there's lots of these wood, I forget what they're called now, they're like, but there's lots and lots of stars all fell from the sky over a 3-day period. Scared the shit out of people. Scared the shit out of people who were the plantation owners and had been literally cruel to slaves, and they were like, I want to say sorry, apologize, forgive, and all this stuff like that. They thought it was the end of the world. You can look that up, and you should. Now, I'm going to try. So, while he was under the tree, these things happened to get Siddhartha to not do his stay there until he felt this enlightenment. And so the natural human condition of envy, jealousy, hostility, pride, anger, or these are like mental impurities that we have when we're here on earth, can be transcended by embracing love, kindness, and beauty. You yourself embrace love, kindness, beauty, and that disrupts the negative state of mind in those that are in the mental impurity, and it produces compassion. So this is one thing you learn. This is what I learned under the tree. Now he also learned that the thirst or the desire for recognition, power, or wealth will never be satisfied. He learned that some people indulge in their hatred or their vengeance and things like that, rather than seeking a peaceful calm and having good emotions. And the other one was a lot of people use sexual desire as a means to escape the troubles of the world. Now, remembering that there was a lot of shit going on in this timeline. So, in each of those times when he was going through these temptations, he put his hand to the earth and said, I see you, Karma. Now, back in those days, Karma is a Devi, Karma Devi. It's like Cupid with the arrow. And when he renounced, the biggest temptation was to renounce his meditation and go back to your riches and comfort in your palace. And he kept going, underneath this Bodhi tree, underneath this fig tree. And when people were like, are there any witnesses? He was like, the earth is my witness. And that's a really powerful statement that he made. Now, it is said that Siddhartha Gautama did not say a word after he got enlightened, but that when he did start talking, he talked for 45 years to everyone who would listen. The Bodhi tree is a fig tree in the Bodh Gaya village, the Vita. The tree has large spreading branches and rounded leaves with a pointed tip. After enlightenment, Siddhartha sat for another 7 days gazing at the leaves and the branches of the tree in gratitude for all the shelter it had given him. It's like this war party went past and so many things happened in this small span of 47 days, I think it was. Let me see how many days. 49 days. Now, in the future, which is the 3rd century, still in the BC time, the great king Asoka sent his daughter Theri Sanghamita to Sri Lanka with a sapling from the right branch of the sacred Bodhi tree in Buddha Gaya. And remembering it's a fig tree, so figs, food. Okay, dokie. Psalm 82. The good Lord takes a stand in the divine council and gives judgment in the midst of the Elohim gods. How long will you judge unjustly and favor the cause of the wicked? Defend the lowly, the fatherless, render justice to the afflicted and needy. Rescue the lowly and poor, deliver them from the hand of the wicked. The Elohim gods neither know nor understand, wandering about in darkness, and all the world's foundations shake. I declare, gods though you be, offspring of the Most High, all of you, yet like any mortal you shall die, like any prince you shall fall. Psalm 82. So, the last line in Psalm 82, I've got a couple of things here, but I said, arise, O Creator, judge the earth, for yours are all the nations. So our Creator, of course, seems like is Prometheus, right? Our Creator, who created earthlings, is Prometheus, a titan who was here before the gods came. And we're all inside Lord Shiva's meditation. And the Christ, the Spirit of Christ, is our Savior. He saves us all. Right, the judgment of the nations. Okay. So, so after the fig tree part, then there's like this massive curses, like verse 5 to verse 17. It's a lot. Now, why is everybody, all these Christians and stuff, going on about Babylon? Why are they banging on about? They don't even know what they're talking about. What they're talking about is the back here. There's a book in the Bible called Isaiah, but it's written over a 300-year period, so I don't know what that's all about. But what it's about is that the people of Judah packed a massive shitty that they got taken to Babylon. So first of all, the people of Israel, the greater Israel, which is Samaria, remember, the 10 tribes, they got taken by the Assyrians to Babylon. And the people of Judah, this religious sect, was like, haha, that's your fault because you didn't believe in our dragon anymore and blah, blah, blah. And, put a curse on the 10 tribes who ended up being scattered around the world in different places. We can find them. Anyway, then it happened to, they thought they were protected, and then it happened to them as well, and they were like, death to Babylon, it shall be nothing, and all this sort of stuff. But the thing is, Babylon was taken by Cyrus the Great. He was from he was Persian, and Cyrus was like, righto, all you Jews who don't want to stay here can go back, and you can build your temple if you want, because the first temple of Solomon, which nobody understands where it is, or we haven't found anything about it yet, was gone. And so they've gone and they've built the second temple, okay? So sweet as. And some of them went back, some of them went back. Not all of them. A lot of them still stayed in Babylon because Babylon was pretty good. Things were going well. Cyrus didn't knock it down or anything. Cyrus the Great, he kept Babylon going, and it became a part of his empire because he was now coming in, the new ruler, okay? So what's happening? What's going on in 500 BC? Well, what's actually happening is we're coming into the Iron Age. So, now, what have I got going on? So, Cyrus was called by the Greeks Cyrus the Elder. He was called by the Hebrews Koresh. He was called by the Greek Kairos. He was called by the Latins Cyrus. And he was called by the Persians Kurus. So, the siege of Jerusalem by the Babylonians, by Nebuchadnezzar II, in 597 to 586, is what the Judeans packed a real shit about. It's not like he killed them or anything. He brought them all back over to live in Babylon, but they were like really, well, whoever's written down as Isaiah over this period since Ahab all the way through, so it's a 300-year period, it's not real, has really got a, obviously it's the curses, okay? So the book of Isaiah is when you're, like, go crazy and curse and do all these horrible things, right? Okay, so all this that's going on here is called the second the urbanization period. So you'll find it, rook, you know, itself, all this stuff. Now, after the demise of the Indus Valley came the second urbanization. So the Aryan people in India, that's the Indo-Iranians, they came down to India in this same timeline and began the Janapada, the foothold of the people. And 16 kingdoms or aristocratic states in the belt from Gandhara in the northwest to Anga in the eastern part of the upper India east of Magadha, which of course, as we know, is where Mary Magdalene came from. Magda. She is Magdalene, remember? Now I just want to pop in here. I think this is it. So I've just gone into, if I can show you here, blah, blah. See, it says 500 BCE, and that's our timeline. And oh great, it's as clear as I want it. Did this one. So I'm just going to use my phone. Hopefully it's going to work for you guys. So see, we have the I can't see myself. So the Achaemenid, that's the Medes, that's the Persian Empire, right? So that's the empire. And then, oops, you go like this. And what we're looking at there is like the Himalayas. And now what we're looking at here is the 16 kingdoms that they started up. Let me see how it's so tricky to figure it all out how I'm doing this. In the time period, does it go that way? Of northern India, okay, you get me? Right. So 16 kingdoms. So let's just go there. So, as you know, the kingdom that we call Bengal now is, oh, I hope that's coming out clearly. Is that coming out in reverse or the right way around? Is Magadha. Right, anyway, moving. So, what we have here in this beginning of the Iron Age, 500 BC, in the timeline where, in the end, Cyrus came, but we're talking about Nebuchadnezzar first, okay? So we're back at Nebuchadnezzar. So what happened was, the Aitareya Brahmana of the Shaka, reminds me of shakalaka, boom shakalaka. But the Shaka in the Rig Veda are singing songs of the 16 kingdoms of the Iron Age beginning, which is the second period of which becomes urbanization, and it starts with Nebuchadnezzar II. Now, the Mahajanapadas were named after the Kshatriya people that settled therein. I'm telling you, that is the Aryans. So they become Indo-Aryan. They've already had one go at it. And now they're coming in for the Iron Age, right? So these were the kings or the rulers, and they were called Raj. So Raj Anya means warrior aristocracy, and the Raj created the social order and the caste system of oppressive and exploitive class structure. The four social classes. Kinsmen of the Raj emerges as a distinct social group with lineage status. The warrior aristocracy, Raj Anya, were a political people. And got me a photo here of what we're looking at. Just drop that back. So here's our Raj. So people of India were doing their thing, and then along comes the second urbanization, and these are what we call the warrior kings, the Raj. So now what have we got? Raja, and they were political people. Now in the period of the Brahmins, which was 800 BC to 700 BC, probably where Abraham comes from, a Brahmin, there was no defined head, but there are 4 Brahmana. And also this reminds me of that Indian god, which I think is called Brahman. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but he's got 4 heads. So anyway, the Brahmana, Raj Anna, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. And the Buddhist pagan beginnings, the Raj Anna was considered preeminent over the Brahmins. Now let's have a look at Siddhartha. So Siddhartha dies in the courtyard of King Sastipal Mal in the Malacca in Kushinga. They lost their independence not long after Buddha's death, and the Raj's domains were annexed to the Magdalene Empire. So this is a conjectural reconstruction of the main gate of Kushinga, the city of the Malaccas, circa 500 BC, adapted from the relief at Sanchi. So I want to show you what their kingdoms look like. So that's where Buddha went in through those gates. I hope it comes up clearer than that. And maybe I'm doing it wrong. I want you to see how beautiful they are. And it does remind you of the Ishtar gate, does it not? Let's just drop that down. Maybe this comes up a bit clearer for you. Got a lot going on there. Absolutely beautiful. Now, let's see what we've got. So, now Surasena kingdom had its capital at Mathura, the Avanti Putra was Raj of Surasena and first among the chief disciples of Buddhism, and gained this is where Buddhism gained ground in the Mathura lands. So Avanti Putra, who was the Raj or the king of Surasena, he was a great disciple of Siddhartha Gautama, who became the Buddha. Now the Vastas, or the Vamasts, capital was Kausambi. Kausambi was a very prosperous, urbanized area where a large number of wealthy merchants resided. It was the most important transshipment port of goods and passengers and travelers. It was the trading post from the north, west, and south. Now, Udayana was the son of Queen Mrigavati, the earliest known female ruler of Vamas and all Indian history. It is written that the great-great-grandson of Janame Jaya settled Vamas, and Kusa founded its capital, because its capital is called Kusambi. Now Queen Mrigavati married Satanika II when she was a princess of Vidya, and ruled as regent for her son, who had been taken prisoner by King Pradyuta of Avanti. The way in which she discharged her duties excited the admiration of even experienced ministers. Udayana loved music, art, and women. He has great elephant taming skills. He was a very powerful and warlike and fond of hunting. He was opposed to Buddhism, but he became a follower of Siddhartha. So Buddha means to awaken, to be conscious once again, to open up as one does a flower, one who has awakened from a deep sleep of ignorance. Udayana named his son Bodhi to discern truth from falsehood. Siddhartha was born in Lumbini in Nepal. His mother's name is Maya, Queen Maya of Shakya. His father was Sudhudana. Maya died soon after the birth of Siddhartha. The image shown is Maya standing under a tree, reaching overhead to hold the branch to give birth to her son. What a perfect way to give birth, guys. Girls. No, guys, you have no idea. The kingdom of Kosala, Siddhartha was born prince of a kingdom of the second urbanization and the use of iron. The Ramayana is set in Kohala realm, and Kosala realm, and Kosalan prince Rama married Vidyahan princess Sita. Vaivasvata Manu was forewarned about the great flood, this is going way back in time now, by a merman, an upper-bodied man with lower-bodied fish. Manu builds a large boat, saves the 7 sages and his wife, Shurata, and 10 children, 10 sons it says. So his son Ikshuvaku founded the Kosala kingdom, the kingdom where Siddhartha Gautama is born. They are distinct from Aryan people, but they mingled into Indo-Aryan. Remembering what we say, the Aryan people is the from Iran. Oh, I was going to show you. Oh, that's right. There's my map. So, where Buddha is born. Man, I feel bad that it didn't come out as clear as I wanted. Do my best. So we have our Persian Empire over there, and then moving along. Keep it slow for you guys. Maybe bring it up a bit. Now one of those orange ones there is the area where Siddhartha Gautama was born prince. His mother died shortly after his birth, being that she died. He was raised by his auntie, and you know, that's why they protected him. They were like, oh gosh, his mum's dead. Well, you know, we'll just keep him away from anything bad, and they overprotected him. Lovely people, obviously. They thought they were doing their best, and you know, there would have been kindness in their heart. They were compassionate towards him. Now, that is about all I have from you. I'm so sorry if it is mixed up, but what I'm trying to explain to you is that the Iranian, the Indo-Iranian people, the Aryan people, is the reason why the people of Judah packed up real shitty when they got taken over to Babylon, and because they weren't the boss of the salt mines anymore, and really they wanted to be the boss of everything. So it's not really a racial kind of a situation, because the Aryans, or the Indo-Aryans, the first urbanization, it was in Egypt as well. So the Indo-Aryan peoples, they are Egyptian. The Indo-Aryan peoples, that's what Abraham was. He came from remember? And the Indo-Aryan people are everything that became the Persians, the Medes, the Assyrians. They're all the same people. Okay, so, and then they came into India with the 16 kingdoms in the northern part of India. So the Indo-Indians came into India. And I guess that's where you get your Pakistani and all sorts of different things going on, whatever we've got these days. They're all related. Okay, so even the true people from the Levant who survived the first urbanization are Indo-Aryan. Indo-Aryan. So, as for all the Americans saying, like, we need Babylon to fall, have a look on your map. There is no Babylon. You're all cursing something that, why don't you just call it by its real name? And also, why'd you guys name heaps of stuff in America like Egypt, Moscow? Nineveh. Why'd you do that? You know, you need to have a look at your own history, what's going on there, because something's weird. Okay, so I hope everyone gets it. Love you all. Ka kite.